love this song. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Get Inspired with B by TT Sabukool. Today is a Friday, and I'm joined in the studio by a woman who truly summoned up the word jazz. She is Ruth Mbangwa. Today she's my special guest in the building today. Ruth is a singer, songwriter, composer, music educator, philanthropist, and she's also the current secretary of the Zimbabwe Musicians Union. She also is an entrepreneur who runs her own business. You might as well put in brackets, Zimaset. She is also she's also just a lot. She's also won an award at the University of Zimbabwe for her role in shaping the community in a positive way. My sister Ruth Mbangwa, welcome to Get Inspired.
Thank you very much for having me, and good afternoon to you, Charles.
Welcome very much. It's such a pleasure. You know, when the track that we should play, Die, that I think was the first song
that put me onto the map, yes.
Besides that, it's the first song I heard personally from you, because I actually watched the video. It was very heart-touching. So, and again, when I first met this beautiful young lady here, I met her at the Zimbabwe Music Union, but then I was just trying to say, Maya. Because she was all over the place, you know, since they were the ones who organized the whole event, she had to make sure that everything is moving in order. But nonetheless, that's a story for another day. So, tell me a bit about how you started. How did you grow up? Your upbringing?
Ruth was born Ruth Mbangwa in Kambuzuma, 1985. Firstborn, and I did my primary education, grade 1, Kambuzuma, was a night primary school. Then I moved to Marlborough. That's where I finished my primary education and went on to high school, Marlborough High School. And a bit of my Form 1 I did at Kwaedza High School in Highfield, and went back to Marlborough. Yeah, and during my school days there was what was called Chipao, Children's Performing Arts Workshop. And I was raised in a seventh-day setup, and traditional dance was Rumashai. And I really admired my other schoolmates who would go to Chipao and would watch them perform, and I just said I wanted to join, you know. So I didn't tell my grandmother I was going to join. I just used to sneak. I would say I'm going for hockey or something, because I was really sporty. So I would end up in the practice sessions And there was Auntie Elizabeth those days, and she just loved me to bits. So she let me come in for free. So my first sessions, I wasn't paying for Chipao. And I found myself getting roles, and that's when I realized I had something artistic about myself, because I then got roles to act, to dance, though I wasn't really a good dancer. So that's how I grew up, and that was the art side of me, but it wasn't much. I was very academic. I'm one of those that used to get book prizes every year and sport prizes every year. And my first trophy was, I got it from Chipao, the art side of me, but it wasn't really accepted in our family. And yeah, so the singing part of me was more from the Seventh Day side. That's where I got my voice polished there.
So within that upbringing, how was it like growing up with your parents, really seeing what you were about to be or wanted to be?
Well, I was a granny's person, so my grandmother really didn't mind me going, but my aunts, they kind of really didn't want me to go that route, because our family was quite academic, and a family of doctors, a family of dentists. Yes, which later became a problem, because everybody else was in the medical field, from my grandfather and to my dad and his siblings. So yeah, it was quite a struggle there. And of course, getting a space as an artist in a medical field type of a family.
Yeah, so your start in the breakthrough, how did you then say, you know what, I want to pursue music as a full-on career?
I didn't really think of it. Yeah, it wasn't a decision. I visited one of my cousins one holiday when I was in Form 2, Rockford Josephat, better known as Rocky in the music industry. And so yeah, we used to share the room, and before we sleep we used to sing, we used to write little songs and stuff, just things that children would do. And then one holiday, after we finished our O-level exams, there was a talent search show, Spotlight, and we just thought, why won't we just go and try our luck? So we went there as Rockford and Ruth, but we met with Ngoni Kambarani and met with Newell. He's now playing guitar with Banadisas and Sebede. So yes, we then
they have him in here, man.
You should.
I last heard of him a while ago.
You should. Yeah. He's quite talented with his words. Yes. So we then formed what was called Another Tribe, there and then. And we learnt one song from Jimmy, we learnt one song from Goni, and one song from myself. So each time we'd go for a certain segment, would sing one song from one of the guys that was in the group. So we won in all the categories, and overall we then got the overall prize, and we got 25,000 then, and it was the 5 of us, and it was a lot of money, so we shared 5,000 each, and that was the beginning of our musical journeys.
So in essence, what difficulties did you then face, trying to break through? Because you can have the talent show.
Yeah.
Because I already have seen a lot of these guys coming from talent shows.
Yes.
But then they didn't find it difficult to.
There is no follow-up and there is no continuity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. On this one, we were quite privileged because some of the judges were musicians that were already in the industry and were the mentorship type of people. People that were really willing to share and nurture somebody's talent and I happened to be spotted by Tango Kasando then, and I really asked him if I could be part of his band, but I was still a minor. So he said, no, you can't be a part of my band, but come to me in 2 years' time and we'll make a plan. So I then kept on pestering him, and I had a slightly big body. I told him no one would notice. And then I had lost my mom, who was the breadwinner, and my grandmother was sick in bed, and I was the eldest, and I had to make a plan. So I told him my story, and he let me jump on, and that's how I became his backing vocalist. And I wasn't polished, I must say, and he took his time to help out, and until he just thought he should take us to a vocal tutor with the other girls that I was singing with then, and I received my first vocal lessons, and yeah, that's how I started getting polished.
And now you're just doing the same thing now at the Zimbabwe Music College. You're now a voice tutor.
Yes, I left Zimbabwe College of Music. I'm now with Prince Edward School.
Okay.
Yeah, and I really love teaching. I never thought I would be a teacher, but you know, I just found myself at one workshop when I facilitated. People were like, you know what, you really explained and I really understood. Can I come for private lessons? Then I hadn't started my private class. Then I thought, why not? Let me do this. And that's how I started teaching vocals.
So, a lot of people know you as being the jazz musician,
yeah,
or the jazz songstress.
Mm-hmm.
What then drew your attention to jazz? Did you have like somebody you looked up to already, besides maybe Mr. Tango Kwasando, who you pestered by the way? Did you like really have that whole driving force where you said, I really love this genre of music?
Not at all. I think jazz chose me because when I went to work with Tanga, I had my songs that I had started writing when I was in grade 7. And when I sang them to him, he was like, oh, this is township jazz. And I didn't know what township jazz was then. And coming from a background where we never used to listen to radio that much, we just used to listen to it chichaira in the morning before I went to school. And it wasn't much. And, you know, my grandmother was quite strict on the content that came into our eyes and through our ears. So, yeah, we never used to watch that much TV. We never used to listen to that much radio. You know, I got to know about Miriam Makeba when I was already now in the music industry. And, yeah, so I must say jazz chose me. I didn't decide to get into jazz. But then again, I think I find jazz music quite pleasing to my ear, even now that I really listen to a lot of music. So,
within that whole force of you realizing that you really love jazz music, there are some women out there, some young ladies who are saying, you know what, we aspire to be jazz musicians, just like my Ruth Mbangwa.
Sisi Ruth.
Oh,
I'm still very single.
Anyway, if anybody wants their phone number, you can always send me.
No,
you go catch me a few bond notes we just do. A few bond notes, you know, there's a cash crisis right now.
No. A few bonds for this.
So anyway, like I was saying, you know, what challenges are facing, you know, female musicians especially?
In the music industry.
Exactly.
Well, in the music industry generally, just being female, you know, from coming from a culture that did not used to accept females on stage, I must say that culture is still a bit inherent. It's in there. Although, yes, we do have a few female musicians who've made it onto the big stages. I don't know how, because I've been in the music industry for 15 years and not even blowing my own whistle, I think I'm quite good, because if I've shared the stage with Yusondo, with Salificator, with Judith Sepuma on different continental stages, then I think I've got what it takes to rock Zimbabwe. But I guess it's the taste, it's the kind of music that I chose to do, which is not really accepted or appreciated by many Zimbabweans. So maybe that's why it's pretty hard for me to then break into the Macheso type of a crowd, and maybe the Jah Praiser type of a crowd. And us being Africans also, the cultural aspect really comes into play, where Africans really love to dance, and my kind of music is not the dance all the time kind of a music. It's a sit down, let's talk, the kind of music that will spark debate in the communities. Okay, let's talk about child marriages, let's talk about education, let's talk about the environment, things like that. And those are not subjects that popular with our population. So yes, we do get airplay here and there at certain radio stations, because that also helps popularize the music, and also for the population to get used to that kind of sound. So it's also I think you should also play a role in popularizing our music. Play it more on the radio, and sometimes even explain, because people are used to maybe lyrics that are written with a literal sense, and some of us we want to use the metaphors, we want to use adages, we want to use that deep language that will get you thinking, because for a human being to be alive, it's the activity of the brain. You want to stay young, get your mind rocking all the time, it has to be working. So my kind of music is for the man that loves thinking. What was she trying to say? Okay, let's talk about this. It's the kind of music like one of my songs, Kumanginde. Kumanginde, literal sense is kuwawa, but I was talking about a fantasy land where things happen the opposite way. So we spark debate, and we talk about marriages, African marriages, and how our parents want to get a whole lot of money.
It's a cash crisis. What can we say? What can we say?
And I'm not a cash crisis. I'm not for sale. So it's those kind of debates that I as an artist would like to spark in our communities. It keeps the communities healthy. So yes, they're the Jah Praisers, they're the dancehall artists. They get us dancing, they get us relaxed, and then there's Rute, there's Dudu, there's Prudence, who's got the chilled music with a whole lot of content in it, where you can sit and just absorb, and then later on think and ponder on certain subjects like gender, like cancer, like things that are not just talked about easily.
It's something where a lot of musicians out there who are talented men have been saying it's not really a fair playing field. What would you say about this? Especially with the whole amount of energy being pumped into, let's say, Zimkanzo. Is it really what's making it not these other genres not to really come in and say not we are here?
Okay,
can you say maybe it's a lack of promotion, or
it's lack of promotion really, because people want where the money is. It's not really about promotion, because for me promotion is you are pro, which means you are helping out to move motion, promotion, to move a certain a genre, to move a certain project, promotion, promoting something. And we don't have promotion, we don't have promoters. we've got business people, and business people look at where the money is, and that's where they go. So that's the other challenge that we have. If we can have promoters, really, then maybe it would help, because with promotion, you would know that I'm seeding and it will bear fruits later. But with these other businessmen that are kind of promoting the Zim dance, or it's because that's where the masses are, that's where the critical mass is, and that's where they make their monies. Even if they say let's make them pay $3, they come maybe numbering up to 5,000, and that's 15,000 in one night. And for a business person, that makes sense. So that's what they kind of promote.
So when you had the last meeting at the Zimbabwe Music Union, I remember they were touching base on the issue of music rights and distribution.
Yes, yes.
How have you find the going so far in you trying to distribute your music? Has it really been helpful, or what can be done? What should be done?
It was quite easy when we had the distribution companies running, but now we hardly have any, so people are just distributing on their own, and distribution, actually, you know what it is, it's pirating their own music. So really we're shooting ourselves in the foot, and then in the end you're crying out, they're pirating my music, when you're doing it yourself. So with the union, we're coming in and we're saying, let's structure our industry, you know, so that we have these manufacturing and distribution companies running well, and then we have a proper channel, you know, to sell our music. But then I guess we're finding it also difficult because people are used to the shortcuts. So a few years are coming who are realizing that the way they've been doing things is wrong. And yeah, slowly we're getting there, because we're also looking for critical mass in the music industry.
So then, you are also a mother.
Yeah.
And as a mother, I think there's a whole lot of child wanting to emulate you for another. How supportive have you been with your child?
With my child.
And if you can touch base on how your child is really shaped up.
Well, for a long time I was fighting it. I didn't want her to become, because for me it's been a bumpy road, and I just thought I wouldn't want my daughter to get into this. But I saw that I couldn't suppress her talent, because she's quite talented. She sings better than me. You will hear her soon, and she's actually started writing songs. Yeah, and of course I kind of beat here and there, but she's got the sense of she's got the talent of writing. She's got the talent to sing also. So I'm just letting her be. And what I've done, that's why I made it a point that I'm part of the pioneers of the Zimbabwe Musicians Union, because I want the playing field to be exactly what it should be. You know, with structures, you know, not that anybody can just what is their thing there and start selling their CDs, and we can just we want our industry to have a shape, to have structure.
Yeah. So another thing you are, my God, you're one remarkable woman. You've got your service to community where you help out the orphans.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about that?
I'm part of an international organization called the Lions Club, and we've got a club in Harare called the Harare the Phoenix Lions, and it's a grouping of philanthropic people who just come together, and we put in our small resources. We actually fork out from our own pockets. We don't get any, well, from time to time, yes, we source for donations, but the big chunk we finance it ourselves. So we look after 3 orphanages in Harare, one in Mavuku, one in Maubra, and one in Chisipiti. Chisipiti Grinda. And we also do awareness campaigns on the environment and on health. And on health, we do free eye testing. We do free diabetes testing. And so for the past month, November was diabetes month, and October was our eye month. So we go around in different communities, and we actually look at the marginalized areas, the rural areas where it's the eye testing is not readily available, like on a day-to-day basis. So those are the areas that we touch on. And we also work with the youth. We've got a youth program called the Leos, where we try and mentor them to do and emulate what the elders, the lions, are doing to actually look into our communities and make a difference in the different aspects of our areas of life, including reading. We have what we call the reading action, where we go around also looking for books and then supplying them where they are needed.
So then, we obviously want to go back to Roy as a businessman. How is the going been so far?
Well, I'm a believing Christian, and it's been grace because I've never stopped working. Things, yes, slow down here and there, but we keep going. What is important is to keep swimming and not to drown. And sometimes you float, so yeah, we're floating in there.
So, role models.
Role models.
They can be national, international. But really, before you answer the question, before we even started recording, we wanted to talk about the issue of the lack of support being given, or we are giving to each other, perhaps maybe as a black society.
Yes, it's something that is very cultural. I must say we're very selfish people. We do not like sharing. From experience, I'm talking from my experience, because I would have thought I would have gotten somebody who's above me in the music industry, mentoring me willingly, because I believe that mentorship shouldn't be begged for. They should be people ready to dish out information, to nurture talent, to develop, in every area of our lives, not in music only. So I see that we've got a challenge there, and we need to change. But I'm glad there's a new crop of musicians that's coming in. We've got the likes of Leonard Mafuma with Dreamstar. He actually invited me to come and talk to some of the participants and help them with techniques, with vocal techniques and performance techniques, stage performance and all tips. And that's the way to go, because at some point I would have expected for myself to get the same thing, not only from Tangawe Kwasando, even from female musicians, just to say, oh, I see you can sing. But I think you're lacking on this, do that, we lack that kind of love in our communities. And I think it's something that it's a seed that we need to plant in many communities. And when I saw that it wasn't there, I also started my own class where I get certain people that cannot afford to come in and just learn for free. And also help out with church choirs. I don't charge. Church choirs, you give me a token. So that's myself giving back to the community, which is lacking with a whole lot of other musicians and other business people. And if it's happening, it's not that visible, and maybe we should augment and make it bigger.
So then let's touch base now.
Yeah.
Who is you looking up to right now? Musically, within the society as well.
Yeah.
Who does Miss Mbangwa look up to? Who can you say, what? When I saw this person, I wanted to emulate them within the music industry itself, and within your role as a mother, a businesswoman.
Like I
That's it,
said,
yeah.
growing up, I didn't watch much of TV, and I didn't listen to much of radio, so I didn't know many. So there's nobody really I came into the music looking up to. But there are people that I've grew to admire, that that inspire me from day to day in and around Zimbabwe. There are people who even came after me that I look up to. I admire Cindy Nyari. I admire Bana Eve Kawanza. I admire, just the way they do things. And so I look up to a whole lot of people. I'm a picky person, and I make my own butter. I milk everywhere, and I make my own butter. So I admire Salificator, because he's also a philanthropist, so we've got something in common. And I've got a lot of notes that I take from him. And I admire Habib Koite. And I totally loved Mama Miriam Makeba. The few years that I then got to know about her, and I studied a bit about her. But one of these festivals that I was invited to, I failed to perform with her because I could not read music, and her music was written, and it was supposed to be performed in the evening, and Ruth didn't know how to read music. So that's one of the things that also prompted me to enter into, to pursue music education, and hence I'm a music teacher, because I also want to spread the knowledge that I have to other aspiring musicians and those that I just love music.
The song Die, 16 Days of Activism.
Yes.
It's a song that really touches based on the plight of the 16 Days of Activism.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me more about that song? How did you just think of really penning it out? What was going on?
Well, I was only 17 when I wrote it. I had never been married. I had never experienced that. It just came, and I think that really got my journey as a social commentator. The balls just started rolling then because of that. I just was watching what was happening in the community, and I was seeing there's so many people who've got it all, but they don't have it. They are being emotionally abused. How? You get married to stay with your husband, isn't it? Not to stay alone in the house.
Sometimes it should be.
Yeah. No, we
outside.
Understand. Yes, we understand. When you go to work, yes, we understand. But if then Daddy goes for a weekend without coming back home, it's emotional stress that so it becomes emotional abuse to me. And it's relevant to the 16 days of activism. We're just saying as women, okay, fine, we're married, and yes, you have to go to work, I have to go to work, but let's balance out things and just be together because we signed up to be together.
So then we go back again to the issue of being able to read music and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What's the importance of being able to learn the craft of making music rather than just going behind the mic and just singing a few notes?
When you have that skill, you have better control of your product. That's one. And two, you become very confident because you know what you're doing. There's I believe in life when you have in-depth knowledge of what you do, you are better placed than somebody who doesn't know. And it also opens up many avenues, of exploration in terms of the music as an art, and also in terms of networking and working with other musicians. We're in a global village. You also want to be relevant to the outside world. So when you go out there, they talk notes. When you are going for a tour, sometimes you don't need to go with your band. Send through your music and they work on it, and when you get there they're already playing it. And how is it possible? By notating it. So how do I notate my music?
So
So it's of paramount importance for a musician also to be musically literate,
So
to
then
be
now,
able to read and to write.
so if I go into Ruth Mbangwa's car,
Yes,
Ruth Mbangwa's house,
yes.
what is she listening to currently? Who is she listening to? What are her ears listening to?
I listen to Sinachi. I listen to a lot of gospel music, and I listen to local, very well done music locally. Yes, I listen to Ngoni. I listen to Trevor. I like it mellow. So those are the people that I listen to. I listen to Cindy, Tererai. I listen to Rocky sometimes when I'm feeling when I'm in a party mood. And there's a lot of Salificator. There's a lot of West African music. There's a lot of South African music. Yeah, so it's just about anything. I appreciate anything that's done to perfection.
So in closing, your words of inspiration.
I would say be your own person. You are your driver. Don't wait for people to push you in their own direction. Try and make your own path. It's you who makes your life great. It's you who is going to make a difference in your community also. So keep on keeping on and do what you know best. Don't try to be anybody, be yourself.
Well, you've read it there from, it's been an honor, Sister Ruth Mbangwa. It's been an honor having you here on Get Inspired. You're listening to Get Inspired here on Radio VOP. That was Ruth Mbangwa, the jazz songstress from Harare. It's been a pleasure having you today. I'm just going to play you off with a song by Madam Ruth Mbangwa, Dai. Anyway, where can you be reached?
You can get me on Facebook, Ruth Mbangwa on Facebook, and you can also get me on www.ruthmbangwa.com. You can also get me on Instagram, Ruth Mbangwa on Instagram, and you can get me on WhatsApp, 0776-902-514. I'll come back again, 0776-902-514.
Where you get it from Ruth Mbangwa. Life sometimes there's challenges and sometimes you're weary. But Get Inspired is the show that lifts you up. I hope Ruth Mbangwa did lift you up today. And anyway, you have to take it. It is Batiti Sabukool. Hoping that you have a pleasant weekend and be well and be safe. 16 days of activism. Let's remember to respect and love one another. Tolerance, people, tolerance. This is Get Inspired on Radio VOP. This is Sabukool signing out.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Let me finish recording this. I felt this is when the most, the banks are off.
Is it?
Yeah, they're off.
Okay.
This has been the most relaxing interview.
Thank you. I was about to say the same. I was about to tell you.